Welcome to a world of dungeons and monsters. A world of barren lands stained in bloodshed. A world where hope is dying. This, my friends, is the world of Vindictus. Hello there. I'm Blawrgh, and I play in the West server of Vindictus. I will teach you everything a new player should know before you start your adventure. Let's get started, shall we? Once you get everything set up and log into your account, it's time to create a character. There are currently 7 playable characters you can choose from. Lan, Fiona, Evie, kurroii, Kai, Vela, and Herrmerrnerfernerf. All playable characters have 2 weapons available with various playstyles consisting of different pros and cons except for Herrmerrnerf, who's fairly recent. Lan is a mercenary who specializes in twin swords or twin spears. Twin swords give you the capability to dodge attacks with ease and still do serious amounts of damage. On the other hand, if you go with twin spears, you're able to accumulate the most damage in mere seconds. However, you'd also have to be willing to take risks, as his dodge mechanic is the lowest in the survivability. Fiona plays defensively and is the only character that uses a shield. The weapon of choice for her is a longsword or hammer. With a longsword, you can easily slash monsters quickly and have enough time to guard attacks. On the other hand, despite the sluggish movement, using a hammer can dish out high damage output. Fiona's shield has great defensive capabilities, but not solely limited to defense, as you can use it to bop monsters on the head. Evie is a magician who utilizes a staff along with an arsenal of spells to decimate her enemies. However, she has to remain stationary to charge up spells, leaving you vulnerable to attacks. If this isn't to your liking, you can exchange her spells and survivability for a scythe, suiting towards a more aggressive and slightly risky melee playstyle. Note that because Evie is the weakest, you need to be careful about getting hit, as making a mistake is punishing, especially nearing endgame content. Kurroii is the biggest and baddest brute who exploits a huge pillar to plow through enemies or punches his way through with his cestus, a gauntlet combined with explosives. Kurroii can absorb damage from enemies effortlessly while attacking and dealing explosive damage. Kai is the one and only archer, and as you may have guessed, lays a barrage of damage on enemies from a very long distance. Utilizing a bow gives you the option to pierce enemies quickly and focus your shots for critical hits. Kai also has the option of switching to a crossgun, in which he can dish out massive damages with bolts and bombs. Vela, like Lan, plays at a very fast pace. She also wields twin swords, but unlike Lan, Vela's innate agility allows her to cover large distance and counterattack. If you still want to play fast, yet her first weapon choice may not be of interest to you, you have the option to switch to chain blades. With chain blades, Vela is able to attack enemies continuously from afar while retaining her swiftness. Herrmerrnerf is the newest mercenary, and with him comes destructive power. Herrmerrnerf charges through enemy attacks recklessly and returns the damage with each massive swing from his great sword. However, Herrmerrnerf consumes enormous amounts of stamina, easily leaving him out of breath. Choose a class carefully and consider a character's mechanics before starting out. Once you find out what character you want to play as, it's time to start out your life as a mercenary! After you go through the intro and make your character look hot, you do the usual beginner quest when starting out. At the end of dungeons, you acquire ability points, which can then be used to rank up skills, assuming you're at the required level for said skills and have enough gold to unlock it. Higher ranks will increase the effectiveness of skills, such as increased skill damage, or improved character stats. Use the ability points wisely, as you don't want to waste time getting ability points you put on a skill you shouldn't have carelessly prioritized. For the most part, there's not really a set guide for skills, but your best bet is to spend it on skills that would benefit you at the moment. For example, the battle respiration skills for all characters except Eevee increases stamina regeneration, a must-have for a fast-paced gameplay. Though I don't recommend doing this at an early level, you have the option to power up your equipment through enhancing and enchanting. Fergus is the town's blacksmith who enhances your weapons and armor, thus increasing your weapon's power or armor's defense. While in his forge, you enhance weapons by placing in your equipment, enhancement stones received from dungeons, and a pocket full of gold. Be wary that there is a chance that your enhancement level might reset, decreasing your item's durability, or even worse, your equipment can end up destroyed at a high enhanced level. You can, however, avoid this by buying an enhanced rune with NX from the Supply Depot store. Next is Bryn, the town's magician in the magic laboratory who enchants your equipment. To enchant your item, you must get magic elixirs created with magic powder. These can be found in dungeons. You also need scrolls that are dropped from bosses. Once you place in your scroll and equipment, proceed to enchant. What you want to do is get close to 100 Bryn, units that measure magic, by placing in your elixirs. The higher the amount of Bryn increases the percent chance of enchanting success. Just be careful to not overflow by passing 100 Bryn, or else your success rate will decrease dramatically. If your enchant fails, your item might suffer from durability loss. Regarding scrolls, they are very rare, and for the most part you can only get scrolls when you reach a certain level that unlocks a new dungeon mode. Also, near endgame, scrolls that are of higher ranks have the capability to destroy your equipment if the enchantment fails. Buying an enchant rune from the depot store can prevent this from happening. Tired of your default look? While in town, click the mirror icon at the bottom right corner which says Avatar, and 3 options will show up: the Avatar Shop, Outfitter Shop, and Dye Shop. Head to the Avatar Shop and you can get new hairstyles, change hair color, wear innerwear, and all sorts of things for the cost of NX. The Outfitter Shop gives you outfits with stats that wear over your normal equips. You can also dye your equips. Go to the dye shop and you can then dye your clothes. The color changes randomly and sometimes it's rather costly. You may also use dye ampoules bought from the cash shop to dye certain parts of the equipment in certain colors. So how about the money-making business part? You get gold by completing dungeons, but maybe that isn't enough to satisfy your needs. Though time-consuming, you can farm for materials from dungeons and sell them off in the marketplace. Do note that materials from beginning dungeons are sometimes not worth farming for. However, you can make a lot of gold by selling magic powder and herb crystals, which are useful even in endgame content. Most of these are found from destroying objects in dungeons or herb pots that are hidden throughout stages. You can either sell the materials off or use them to create elixirs, potions, and much more, and then sell it off. If you have something and are unsure of how much it costs, check the marketplace to see listings of the item so you get a general idea of how much it sells for and how valuable it is. Take advantage of the price fluctuations and who knows, you'll bask in the fortune you made from it. Don't be afraid to be social. It gets rather lonely if you solo most of the quests, so invite a friend to run dungeons together. When you start the very first dungeon, it may suggest you to join a guild. However, I recommend you don't, and instead wait until someone invites you over. You can also search in the guild recruiting section of your server using the forums on the Vindictus site. Not that it isn't wrong to join a guild immediately, but the guild you've been suggested may be filled with other new players in the same situation you're in. Honestly, guilds are the best part of the game, and my guildies are now the reason I play this game. Whether you complete runs together or just spend time with one another, your guild members become your family, and you create new connections with people you would have never met. The life of a mercenary is a life full of fraud, requiring you to slay monsters called Fulmors and also bring about the arrival of Eren, the land of paradise. You'll discover many secrets, and tragedies will befall. But once you're settled into the game with your trusted comrades by your side, you have the power to tackle anything.